Hello, welcome back to the Mobile Motorbike Mechanic channel. I'm Steve, and today we're on our way to a little village just outside Rugby, where we're going to be fitting an electronic ignition on a 1976, I think it is, Z900. So we'll see you when we get there. So join us here with this beautiful Z900, 1976 Z900, and today we're going to fit this Boyer Brandsen electronic ignition system onto the bike. So that's the coils mounted now and wired in. So now we need to build up the ignition leads. So in the kit you've got a bit of ignition wire. So we'll just measure this out, cut it to length, and then fit it into the coils and fit it into the spark plugs. Right, we've marked up the individual coils. So as you can see, we've got 2 and 3, coil for number 2 and 3, and a coil there for 1 and 4. So what we'll do is we will manipulate the wiring out of the way a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to take our ignition wire and we're going to build from 2 and 3. These are loose at the moment, I haven't tightened them up. We're going to build from 2 and 3 down to 2 and 3, and then from 1 and 4 down to 1 and 4. Resistance check, because these need to be 5,000 ohm ignition coils. So these need to be 5,000 ohm resistance ignition coils. So we're just going to do a quick ignition check, ignition coil check. We're just going to check from one end to the other and see what the resistance is. There you go, 5,000 ohms. So as you can see, it says 5 on it, but it's the symbol at the end is K ohms, so that's 1,000 ohms. So that's a 5,000 ohm resistance ignition spark plug cap, which is perfect because that's what the kit says we need to use. Okay, so to fit one of these ignition caps, they're actually screw on. If you look in the end of the cap, you'll see a little screw. So whenever you fit in spark plug caps, remember to screw them in, and equally if you're ever going to take one of these off, don't just yank it, unscrew it. Big pair of colours, straight through, one clean kit. And with that we can route it up to the ignition coil. So we'll screw that in there, we'll just screw that into that ignition coil, and that'll be that lead done. Okay, these coils are actually a push fit connector, so they push in and clip on. So what we're going to have to do is fit the connector end, which then pushes into the coil there. So first thing on is the rubber boot, which goes over the top. Yep. And then we just need to crimp this end on. So what we'll do is we'll crimp the wire into the middle, and then we'll crimp this retaining clip around the whole wire. We'll get this one crimped on. So as you can see, that's the wire crimped on to the actual connector, and now we just need to crimp this to the outside, so that will hold the connector on and give it a bit more support. Okay, that's that crimped on now, so we're just going to give it a test fit, and as you can see, it clips straight in, and just pull it straight back out again. So we'll get that fitted. that's all of the ignition wires built, coils mounted, the ignition unit mounted. We've still got to fit this wire into the negative of the I'll just put it onto the negative of the battery, but we'll do that in a minute, and we'll tidy that one up with a couple of little cable ties just to attach it, make sure it doesn't get caught up in the carburetor linkage here. But we're now going to be moving on to the actual stator plate itself. I'm going to remove these 3 screws, we'll take the stator plate out, we'll put the new electronic ignition unit in, which is this one here. So replace that with that, and then once we've got that in place, I'll explain what we're going to do next. There we go, that's 1, 2, and number 3. Make sure you don't lose the screws or any of the other hardware associated with the screw. So you've got like a couple of washers behind it as well, so keep all of those parts, because when the bike's running this is all spinning, so anything that is loose in here is not good. So this is the unit we want out. Oh, he's in there a bit. Come on, how'd you come here, bugger? He doesn't want to move. There we go. Now, I believe we need to remove this unit as well. So we'll get that off. Just get rid of this slot. There we go. Right, so all stator plates out. We've just taken the advance shaft off the advance mechanism there, so that all goes back in, and then that plate goes in over the top. It's really fiddly, but you can do it. There's like a little keyway where it's got to sit on, so we'll get that fitted in, and then this is your centre bolt and your rotor. So magnets in toward the bike. So there we go. That's all fitted up now. Doesn't matter where this unit goes at the moment, because all we're going to do is just going to do it finger tight. That'll do. Obviously, that is going to be your advance and your retard. Sorry. That is going to be your advance and retard once everything's fitted up, but we've got to work out where we need that in a minute. Old stator plate and wiring out. We won't cut the wires just in case the customer ever wants to put back that that original points unit, so we won't cut the wiring. We'll take it out, we'll pop that in the box, and we'll replace with some nice new fresh wiring. Got some very tiny nuts here. Gonna need to fit onto. It's black on there. Tiny. green one goes on here. Next. Now, the instructions state tighten those nuts up with a pair of pliers. They're 3mm, I think. Smallest spanner I've got is a 5.5, and it fits. So we'll use a spanner rather than a pair of pliers. But yeah, the instructions do actually state do them up with a pair of pliers. But if we've got the right kit to do it, we may as well use the right kit. There we go, all done. So just route this wire back up to the top there. Right then, that's the ignition advance unit fitted. So what we're going to do now is we're going to time the bike up. So yeah, everything's just finger tight at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll get the bike onto TDC on number 1 cylinder, or number 1 and number 4 cylinder, because on this bike it's 1 and 4. So we get it onto TDC. We'll set the rotor. We'll then nip him down, and then we can set the advance and retard on the plate here, and we need a timing light to do that. So let's get into that. Okay, plugs are out. Now it's a fairly easier to turn over just on the kickstart. Cool. Ah, that's 2 and 3, right? Okay, so that's F. Right. So this is your timer mark here. This little bit that I've just highlighted, and then on the crank rotor, that mark there is your TDC mark for 1 and 4. I don't know if you can see that in there. It actually does say 1 and then F and then 4. So that's your firing mark, and then that's your TDC mark. So we just line that up. So we now know we're on top dead center on cylinders 1 and 4. So I'll just mark that with a paint pen so we can easily see that. And now we need to set the magnets, because obviously these are loose, but there's no indentation. They can go wherever they want to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to set them up in line with the 2 poles on the plate. So I'll do that. We'll just tighten that down, and then we should be at least in a position to start the bike. There we go. So we get the plugs back in again. Pop around the other side, do the same. Plugs all in. Let's chuck the tank on, and then we'll go for a start. Let's get these fuel lines connected. These are a particular pain on these Zeds. and there's 2 of them, which makes it twice as hard. Let's see if we can get that one out of the way. Let's work on the one for the minute. Okay, tank's on, so we'll go for a start. Time is still out, so it's going to be popping and banging. So that's expected. What we'll do is we'll get the timing light on it. Just the timing now, make it run a lot better. Oops. It's popping or banging, ticking over very nicely. No pops, no bangs, pumps and oil. So we'll just get the cover back on and get the seat on, and then we will be finished with this job. Oops. Kill switch. That's this one all done, so we're on to the next one. So remember to comment, like, subscribe, and let us know what you like about the channel. Feel free to give us any pointers. Alright, so we'll see you on the next one. Cheers!